Welcome, everyone, to a very special session of Powerful Women Today Live. We are speaking about selling, and in the process of selling, what language is giving away your power? And are you communicating like a leader? So, without any wait, let's get to it. Yes.
Empowering women on a global scale. Welcome to Powerful Women Today with Carolina Billings. Powerful Women Today is on a mission of inclusion, rewriting his story to include her story, and empowering, raising, and amplifying women's voices with professional speaking, publishing, original podcasting, and web TV. And now here's your host, the founder of Powerful Women Today, Carolina Billings.
We have today's sales strategist, an overall incredible person because she trains professionals how to sell professional services, which has got to be the easiest and the most difficult thing to do, all in the mindset. Welcome, Liz. How are you today?
Good morning. Happy to be here. I'm great.
Happy Thursday.
Yes.
It is Thursday.
Not Friday.
Just talking about that in the warm-up green room. So this is something that affects both men and women differently. So let's talk about communicating like a leader. And there's many aspects to it, right?
Oh, yes.
So let's start it with why are you so passionate about it?
Well, I started noticing a theme when I was working with women who sell professional services, and they're unknowingly using language that makes them either come across passive, wishy-washy, and weak, or all the way to the other side, which is kind of pushy, abrasive, and self-centered. So between those two extremes, I realized that there's a much more powerful way to communicate that allows women to combine their confidence, their strength, and authenticity into a communication style that resonates with who they are. Some people think that if they're in sales, they have to be aggressive, or if they're in sales, they have to be soft and sweet and not push anybody. And neither one of those sides work. So that's why coming to the magic in the middle is where your words really matter. And certain words and phrases suck the power out of your communication and weaken your message and credibility. But certain words do the opposite. They open people up. They strengthen your credibility, strengthen your message. So there has to be a way where you look at both sides and then create a language that really works for you as an individual. And I work with women on that, finding their language, their language that works for them may be different than the language that works for you and I.
Yeah, and and you and I are quite unique at it. But in what you're saying, I want to break it down because you said a number of powerful things. One of them is, let's start with women, right? They're so when it comes to sales, you and I are like-minded on more points than not. That there's two sides of the sales coin, and this is where I believe a lot of professionals get confused because of the messaging that comes from every direction to us. So on one hand, we get a lot of messaging of, oh, sell without selling, or the servant leader, or you know what I mean, or give it away for free this, free that. Yes, and on the other side is the business side of selling. And there's something that you say that I find extremely powerful, because I am also a calling a spade kind of girl. Selling is selling. Selling is not anything other than selling. It's a transaction. It's an exchange of goods and services for consideration, right? Or for money.
Just like marketing. Does anybody call marketing anything else? Oh, I'm not a marketer. Not me. Oh gosh, I wouldn't touch that stuff.
I'm
No
not
one
an
ever says,
accountant.
right, no one ever says things like that. Oh, social media? No, I don't do social media. No, no, no. That's so they wrap selling as something that's bad and evil when really it's the only way to stay in business.
You know
So
what?
as
Selling is to business what gasoline in an accelerator is to a car.
and oxygen to our lungs. Good
And
luck
you know,
without it.
you can have an electric car, so I'm going to say power or
Yes.
fuel
Yep.
to a car or gasoline. You cannot run a business without sales.
No, that's
Other
it.
than that, you're a volunteer. And
That's
even when
right.
you're a volunteer, you're still selling because you're still trying to get people to opt in and buy into what you're trying to do.
Right.
So, so I like that differentiation of the behind the scenes and in front. So
Mhm.
let's break it down because there's language that gives away your power at both ends,
Yes. Oh,
right?
yes.
So let's speak about the front, the your public, right? On the front of the counter when you're trying to sell your services. Agreed. There's a great quote that says, "Nobody wants to be sold to, but everybody wants a solution."
Right. I'll push back a little on that because some people need help in their buying decision.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I mean. Yes, of
Okay.
course. But at the get-go, you don't want like I know personally, I don't want people that begin to sell to me
Oh,
without them
right.
even finding out what is my problem, right?
Right.
And
That's
I
right.
get that a lot on LinkedIn. I get, all these unsolicited, emails that I have to push back. And I have
Right.
to say, can you please tell me where on my profile or my site said that I'm in the technology business?
Yeah.
Right? Because if I am, I want to know.
And see,
Right?
I don't call that selling. I call
Messy.
that spamming. That is
Oh,
full
yeah,
blown
exactly.
spamming. It doesn't even come close to selling. But yet people
Correct.
think they're social selling or they're selling through LinkedIn. No, they're not. They're spamming through LinkedIn because there's a big difference when
Yes.
I type an email to someone, not at someone. So what you
Mhm.
described was an email that came at me that says,
Mhm.
Carolina, you need my services and you need to download my book and you need this. That's an email to me or at me, not one that says, hey, Carolina, I noticed on your profile, or I've been following
That
you for the
solves
last,
my problem of
yes,
needing to sell to you. That's
right.
not solving your problem,
That's
right? You
right.
see the difference? Do you
Big.
guys hear that subtlety, right? And this has nothing to do with selling without. This has to do with intelligent selling,
Yes. That's
right?
it.
Like you want to make sure that if you're only selling, shoe size 10, your client wears shoe size 10 or is looking for shoe size 10.
Yes.
Right? If they
Yes.
were size 7 and you only sell size 10, wouldn't you want to find that out before you spend 30 minutes or an hour,
That's right.
at it? So, yeah, so that is one aspect to it. In another one is this whole concept of serve. That really honestly pushes a button in me
Mhm.
because especially with women, I think it triggers that pleasing gene, right?
Yes.
And it's like, I'm here to facilitate. I'm really not here to serve.
Right.
And I'm certainly not a servant. You know what I mean? I am a facilitator for
That's
you.
right. Or they show up with the energy of a servant.
Oh,
And
yes.
and a
Yes.
servant is, oh, I can do that. I'll bend over backwards. I'll lower my price. No, 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 I could do that for you. I'm here for you. I just want to serve
Let me
you.
backflip for you.
Right. I can turn myself into a pretzel for you. Watch me. I want the sale. But today,
Mhm.
people don't want that. They don't want a servant. They want two professional
Listen,
equals
I want an
coming
equal. Oh,
together.
we were just
Yes.
saying that. See, I tell you, like, and I always like connect this. This is a Toronto, Colorado, connection, and in because it's about equal partnership. It's
Yes.
about intelligent conversations. You
Mhm.
don't want an
Right.
An,
The
an
imbalance. Yeah.
equivalent, an imbalance of power.
That's right. And
Because
you're conveying that when you say, "Oh, I'm just here to serve you. I don't sell, I just serve. Look at me serve all day long. I'm broke as crap, but
sheep
I'm
in a wolf clothing, run. If there's anybody here that's saying, I'm not here to sell, I'm here to serve, run.
and
Run the
Carol,
opposite direction.
you're absolutely right. But the sad part about that is it the people who are serving from that servant energy give themselves permission to not step into their power, to
That's
actually
right.
be seen as a business equal. They're giving themselves permission to stay one down, to come from that place of, oh,
Be
I really don't
small.
want to
Yeah,
sell.
to
And it
go
halts
small.
business. You waste people's time when you're telling people, I'm
What's
not here to
that
do
time?
anything. Right. So nobody wants their time wasted anymore. They want to talk to people who are professional equals who can say, you know what? Before we even get into that, I'd like to learn a little bit more about you, what's happening versus, oh, I don't want to ask those tough questions. I don't want to put myself in a selling situation.
You see a lot of that in YouTube videos, right?
Mhm.
Like you'll see a headline that you like. Okay, yeah, I'm there. You click on it, and the person begins to tell you about themselves. Subscribe to my channel. Why am I subscribed? I don't even know who you are. I don't even know
Right.
what you do. I don't even know if your message resonates with me, and you're already
That's
asking
right.
something of me,
Hmm.
right? And that's
Yes.
not how it works.
No,
It's the
unfortunately. No, I
listening.
should say, fortunately, that's not how it works.
Yeah, you know what? Fortunately, and
Yeah.
fortunately, there are a lot of people making this mistake because the people
Yes.
that get it right, the experience that people have when coming in contact with you is a
It's
million times
felt.
different.
It's really
It's a
felt. And
million times
so
different.
these women who don't want to sell, don't want to step in their power, what winds up happening is they swing the pendulum all the way to the other side. They lower their status, they minimize their
They
language.
lower their price.
Well, but even before they lower their price, they're lowering the language of what comes out of their mouth. And it
Mhm,
says things
mhm.
like, I know you're busy, so I'll be brief, or I don't want to waste your time, so I'll be quick, or I know you're swamped, so I'll
The
cut to the chase.
prefacing, the
Excuse my
prefacing, right?
persistence, right? Sorry to trouble you. Yes. And they
Yeah.
apologize their way out of the sale. I'm so sorry to keep bothering you. I wanted to get back to you. I thought I would try you one more time. Sorry for my persistence. Why are you
You
apologizing?
apologize your way out of the cell. I love it. That is just absolutely brilliant. And you know what? There's selling is an art. And if you're not, so you need a lot of arts to be successful as a solopreneur,
Correct.
you are representing your own brand. That doesn't mean that you have to do them all yourself. If you
Hmm.
recognize you're not good at it or you don't enjoy it, or it's just,
Yes.
and we'll tell you how to recognize if you're not good at it, right? But in that is on top of not having sales. There
Right.
are other ways you're not good at it, right? Or it's not your calling. And if it's not your calling, because you need like three, in my opinion, you need three pegs to succeed at business. You need to be good at business,
Hmm.
you need to be good at sales, and then you need to be good at the modality that, especially if you are a consultant or you are a practitioner, you still need to be the best because you still need to
Correct.
deliver,
Correct.
right?
Right.
Especially in the arena of professional services. So it could be that you're not good at sales, you don't enjoy it, you don't want anything to do with it. Then you know what? Find ways to outsource it. But your business
Yeah.
cannot survive without it.
100%. And even before outsourcing it, that outsource could quit on you in a day. You still have to be
Yes.
able to understand your process, how you attract clients, how you communicate with potential clients. How do you move people through a tough decision or helping them make a good decision so that they don't have buyer's remorse? How do you stay
Mhm.
in that conversation so people are willing to engage with you and not blow you off? So many women get
Yes.
blown off, or they don't get their emails returned or voicemails returned, and they think it's the other person. But what's happening is it's happening from them, from their language, from their energy. They're causing that to happen. So
And you
it's,
know
you
what?
have to understand your sales process. You can't outsource it unless you understand it first.
And you know what? That is so sorry. As you were saying, I was having visions of a call that I experienced yesterday from somebody trying to sell their services to me. And it
Okay.
was a man. And this is something really important for men to learn. Women buy differently. And women may be a little, in my opinion, a little bit more intuitively um, ready to spot manipulation. So I was speaking with this salesperson in professional services, and there's like scaling up, right? Like this is the intro pre-qualifying call to get to like the next call, right? And they said, okay, can we schedule a call, next week? And I said, well, I need a little bit more notice than that because it's a longer like assessment, right? Like that
Okay.
they're graciously are giving. But I said, no, no, I need more notice than that. I'm booked, right? And so anyway, so we went a little bit through the conversation, and then he says, well, it doesn't really sound like you have time to work on your business. And I said, he said,
The old takeaway.
or
That's,
am I putting words in your mouth? And I said, well, you kind of are, because
yeah.
I'm booked because I'm effective at what I do. I need notice. And if
Mhm.
something is important and a priority, don't you think I would build it in? Like, and it was just such a turn off. You know what I mean? It's
Wow.
like,
Yeah,
you know what? Please speak to me like an intelligent individual,
that's
right?
right.
Don't manipulate me because I'll see right through.
And those
And
are
that's
sales tactics that don't work
you're
anymore.
old.
They don't.
You're
That
old.
it's
And is
40
that
years
that
old.
I'm not
Let it
here to
go.
sell you business. I'm not, like put your credit card away. It's like, do you
Yeah,
really think I don't see through that?
that's right.
You're not calling me, you know, for I don't know, you're not calling me to invite me to the movies. You're calling me to solicit business.
That's right.
Like
Yes,
which part, if you're going on a date, which part of that are you misunderstanding? If this is
that's right.
a calling to engage in a transaction, which part of that do you think I'm not getting?
That's right.
Right? So
Right. Do
when
you
I
think,
speak to people, yeah, speak like you said,
yeah,
at a
and
at a
okay,
equal level,
that's
because
it.
just
Yes.
because you're an expert in one area doesn't mean they're not an expert at something else,
And
right?
sometimes when we speak, sometimes we are speaking from a higher level. For example, let's say you're sharing something with someone that they don't know. So, Carolina, I don't know if you've seen some of the research that's out there. Now I'm a little higher than you, but not from a haha, I'm going to tell you something. It's more of, hey, now I'm educating you because I'm
That's
the
right.
expert. Or, oh, by
That's
the way, have you heard of this? Or have you seen this?
It's from
This
a
has
place
been
of
happening in the
passion.
sales world. Yes,
That's right. And because I tell you, if you especially as a professional selling their services, right? You have to know your industry, your services, your stats, your trends, the latest news, like
right.
the back of your hand is your job,
Exactly.
right? And
Hmm.
I'm always surprised whenever we're scheduling, I don't know, people for events or podcasts or whatever, and they need like a pre-call to the event.
Uh-huh.
It's like, dude, I'm not going to ask you anything you don't know. And you should be able to speak about your topic on 0 seconds notice
That's
because you
right.
got it, right? Like
Wake you up
you
in the
got
middle of
it.
the night. Right.
Correct. And this has to do with selling, right? And this
Yeah.
has to do, it's not just selling, is the ability to present the value,
Right.
right? Of
Oh,
the challenge or
absolutely.
of the problem or
Articulating your value. And Carolina, sales skills are people skills. They're communication skills. They're value skills. It's not just selling something to someone, that I have something and you need to buy it. It is wrapped in the language of selling, but you
Mhm.
also need to act like a person. You need people skills. You need to know how to communicate that value, articulate that value, and that's a communication skill. So yes, it's called selling, but there's so many other parts and pieces to that. And a lot of
Yeah.
people think that selling is what it was 40 years ago, where it's all about
Numbers game,
push. Yes.
right?
And it's not
That
like
you're
that
just gonna knock
anymore.
on a million doors. You don't need to.
Nope.
You just don't need to,
But
right?
but it's so much easier to hold on to that mindset than it is to step out of that outdated mindset and say, wait a second, I am a woman of choice. I could make a decision here. I
Mhm,
don't have to act like that or sound like that or be that. I can
mhm,
learn how to do this in a way that aligns with who I am. That old crap,
mhm,
people still use it, but I don't have to. So there's some
mhm.
power in stepping out of the old and embracing the new. And then if
Yeah.
you don't want to step into that power, then that's fine. Stay old school, but it's going to be hard to make a living that way, a real tough living.
And and the funny thing, and I think this has to be with the cultural, you know, I don't want to say indoctrination because that sounds a little harsh, but
Uh-huh.
is the messaging when it comes to women. We're specializing on women, and
Mhm.
I just looked at the clock, and we're just flying through time. But it's just such an important topic, and so we're gonna go over just a nudge, um, because when it comes to women, we have been fed such a consumer attitude,
Mhm.
right? Like buy, go buy. Buying will give you whatever your status. Buying will give you beauty. Buying will give you acceptance. All these things. We want women, and this is in my mission to get you excited about making money, especially as a professional, selling your brain, selling
Right.
your knowledge, selling your intellectual property, and that's going to make all the difference in the world for you. So
So,
we're just
Carolina,
getting
if someone
started.
needs a service and you're unable to convey your value and speak in a way where you become their first choice through good sales skills, they're going to give their money to someone else. Why help another your potential, I mean your competition? Why would you drive somebody over to your competition's office because you're afraid to step into your power and help someone through a buying decision?
And that's why at the beginning we began with nobody want to be sold to, but everybody will buy a solution to their problem, right?
Yes,
If
yes.
it makes
If it's
sense, and
big
how much
enough.
are they willing to spend depends
Yeah.
on the size of their problem.
That's right. If
Right?
the
Like,
problem's big
how
enough,
good you are.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is, Liz, I get energized, if that's possible, every time that I speak to you. It's like selling
Good.
is for women, selling, negotiation, being able to convey your value is the foundation to freedom, is the foundation to independence. And
That's
there's
it.
nothing better than financial independence for a woman.
Mhm. Yep.
So I thank you so much. We're like 3 minutes over, but that's
Okay.
okay. This is one of many conversations. Liz is one of Powerful Women Today mentor experts. She's working with me on the Sales Academy in getting more and more and more people to like, embrace, love, and know that if you learn how to sell, sweetheart, you are unstoppable. So I thank everyone for joining us today, and stay tuned to find out more about Lisa's, and I keep pointing the opposite direction. You're that way. Lisa's services and guidance and just leadership. And we wish you all a happy selling day.
Thank
So
you.
until next time.
Empowering women on a global scale. This has been Powerful Women Today with Carolina Billings. To learn more about how you can join and transform your life and the lives of women everywhere with professional speaking, publishing, podcasting, and web TV, Visit powerfulwomentoday.com. Remember to subscribe to this podcast on iTunes, YouTube, or wherever you like to listen and watch your podcasts.